The United Nations Security Council will hold an informal meeting on media freedom. This comes after the killing of Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh. The murder has highlighted limitations and dangers that are faced by journalists, especially in conflict zone. It has also sparked debate about media coverage of the Palestine-Israel conflict. Let's delve into this now with seasoned journalist and activist Zubeida Jeffer joining us now virtually from Cape Town. Zubeida, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Just an overriding question first, just myself thinking about it and talking to various people, just wondering how we, the South African media in particular, have managed to cover and bring to the fore the horror of the killing of Shireen Abu Akleh at the hands of the Israeli military. Are we doing a good job? Have we done a good job?
Thank you, Dan. I'm reasonably confident that our has told the story accurately. If you compare to what's happened in some of the Western media abroad, and because there was such outrage here and such, you know, an outpouring of grief, I still find it difficult to even look at her beautiful face and to think that she was assassinated in the way she was.
Yes, and I see today Palestinian authorities saying they've written to the ICC, in the International Criminals Court in The Hague, asking for a proper investigation because the Israeli military are dragging their feet. They're not doing anything. She was an American citizen. The American government official is also not doing much about that.
I would be wonderfully surprised. I mean, I would be very pleased if action is taken in, you know, around this matter, and if this matter were to be heard at the International Criminal Court. But quite frankly, I have very little faith that this would happen, because what we've seen, and especially I think with the recent war between Russia and the Ukraine, we have seen the double standards that are at play with the international media, that objectivity and accuracy flown out of the window, because you listen to one channel and you get a completely different view to another channel. So with the Palestinian issue, I mean, it's been horrific for many years, and but this is a blatant. I mean, this is an assassination. She was wearing a helmet. She was not in a zone where there was shooting, and yet they suggested that she was caught in fire, or there were clashes, because the approach of the Israelis have always been to put doubt in the minds of the public and to spin a story before it even gets, you know, to the point where it's reported on. And this is what we are experiencing on a whole.
But the video that came out the other day, and we had the story yesterday, I discussed it yesterday here on ENCA, clearly shows that there was no fighting happening and the journalists were at a particular position where Shireen was. Now in Palestine is still grieving more than 10 days later. Those are the reports that we're getting. But her colleagues are battling. Now we as journalists, we as in the media, have to find ways of raising our voices, in my view, against violence against journalists, our fellow journalists, wherever it happens in the world. Do you think our South African media voices are loud enough to be heard, our voices of outrage against the assassination of Shireen?
I'm very pleased that you are raising the matter. It has been raised on other shows as well, and on the radio, newspapers. But I do think we must take a far stronger stand, because it's, you know, she was a journalist for 25 years. She was loved very widely in the Middle East, and it's not a matter of a journalist being caught in crossfire. The New York Times said that, reported on the day that she died, that they just reported that Shireen dies at age 51 or something. I mean, it's such a travesty of justice that they had to change the headline eventually, because it wasn't that Shireen dies at age 51. It was Shireen was shot in the head by a sniper, from an Israeli sniper, and she died instantly. And I mean, there's such double standards that with the Palestinians, that I do think we must find a way to put our names out there, to clearly say, look, this must go to the International Criminal Court. This must be punished fully. The man who did it must be held to account, and that we are not going to support this.
Yeah, in less than a minute, I just want your view. Her colleagues in Al Jazeera are saying that her life inspired them, her legacy, her work, her professionalism inspired them to tell the Palestinian story. How should her legacy in South Africa be remembered by us in the media?
It should be similarly remembered. I'm very proud of our country. We've got great challenges at the moment, but the one thing that we've been very clear about is that we've remained committed to supporting the Palestinian cause. And I think we must not be deflected from that. And this, Shireen's life, should be fully celebrated, and we should speak about this endlessly for as long as we can.